Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Maribel Blue, the Unfiltered Rabbit Hole. Now, the last episode I did was on Lizzo, and I told you that when I do this certain series, I will have some help. And today I do. Today we are welcoming not a surprise guest, but my usual side counterpart, best friend. I'm
Oh,
telling you, it's just like we've been recording now. I can't see, but we've been recording now for like 7 minutes. We were laughing right before
yeah.
we actually started.
Yeah. It's always a good
It's
time.
that person that you can be totally silly with and they just get it.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about Doja Cat. This is more going to be on a plant girl. I will let her take over the episode and kind of give you a rundown of everything that has been going on. And we're going to go deep into that unfiltered rabbit hole. But before we begin, I just want to say, if you are new here, welcome. This is a new series under the Maribel Blue Unfiltered umbrella. Yes, I will go back to talking about reality TV, but right now I'm like a little burnt out. I have a lot of shows that I have so many things to talk about. It's going to be put on a very short pause. Just for the time being. Let's dive into a little bit of the mystical, the darkness, the paranormal, the entertainment, all of that good stuff that we all love to talk about. And if you are not new, welcome. I think I said please subscribe. If I forgot to say it, please subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about it. Okay, enough with the talking, like Franco TV says. Enough with the talking. Let's get started with the video, and I will give it to a girl in a plant world to dive deep into that unfiltered rabbit hole of Doja Cat. And that didn't even sound right, but we're going to do it anyway.
I totally love it. She's had a lot of attention on her recently, hence her song. To me, it's kind of interesting. It just really goes to show when you see like someone you really like as a celebrity and you have this
Right.
image of them to go so far away from that image, and then you're just kind of a little blown away by their actions or how they like represent themselves, whatever, right? I think it's happened to us all in some form with some sort of celebrity or musician or
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
anyways, I think with her, it's just interesting because you don't normally see people like hating their fans.
Yeah. But like, what led to everything that's been going on up until this point?
Yes. And that's what's also interesting to me
Hmm.
because I have a lot of thoughts on that. If you look at Doja Cat, like in the beginning of her career, she was just like a SoundCloud rapper. And she's very talented though. Like she's a really talented musician in general. Like she produced her own music, she was singing, she was rapping, she was posting it on SoundCloud, and it gained like some good attention because what she was putting out was good. And then she got picked up by who's very infamous, I guess, would be Scooter Bronson.
Scooter Braun, he's an American entrepreneur.
Yes. But so
Okay.
Taylor Swift sued him over her rights to her music. What?
I think the same thing happened with Taylor Swift. Wasn't she going
Yes.
through some kind of craziness with the publishing rights of
Yes.
her
Yes.
songs? I don't
Yes.
think that
And
people are reading their contracts, or maybe they just feel like they signed their contract without
right.
really putting much thought and effort, and maybe just thinking, oh yeah, at some point I'll just buy them back, and then there's some kind of weirdo loophole where they
They
can't
don't have,
just.
yeah. Well, and not only that, but it sounds like to me he's like a very controversial person in general, but like as a producer too. I'm gonna change my mind on that. That's not so much true. It's pretty notorious for producers to like take the music from the musicians and
Right.
basically give them pennies for rights, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mm-hmm.
so many times that you
Meanwhile,
see
they're the
that
ones
happen.
who's doing all the work.
Exactly. But that's who her producer is that
Mm-hmm.
terrible man. Don't come for me. There's that side of things. We don't know what like it looks like for her as far as her relationship with him or her personal life or anything like that. We just really know her for her music. But she blew up on TikTok and she's come out with like a few albums and they're really good. They're really good. But her last album in particular, almost every single song went TikTok viral. So it's interesting to me how she like seemed so like loved at one point and then all of a sudden, you know, she's like, I hate you guys. But anyways, we'll get there.
Before, like, I know you said you're going to get there, but wasn't there a lot of allegeds going on that led to her saying that she hates her fans for whatever reason that is?
Yes. So this is like, I guess like I wanted to spread out that timeline, right? She
Mm-hmm.
got TikTok famous. We had the pandemic, all of that, right? But then she went on tour and
Mm-hmm.
she was like being overworked. And she was making a lot of tweets about feeling overworked, being exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
being tired, wanting to quit music, wanting to be done. She had a concert at some island. I can't remember where, but it was an island
Mm-hmm.
and there was a hurricane. Something happened with the weather and she wasn't able to perform. It was like a festival and a lot of artists would like come out of their hotel room and like wave to fans and blah, blah, blah. But Doja Cat, I guess, didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got like a huge amount of backlash from that. And so I've noticed personally as a fan, that's when she had like this shift. Not too much after that, probably like a year later, maybe even less than that, that's when she like shaved her head, which is who cares, whatever, she
Mm-hmm.
looks fine. But
Right.
she started
Right.
kind of acting more rebellious, like
Mm-hmm.
just overall with her fashion. Like she used to be kind of like this light and bubbly happy person, and then all of a sudden she's just like dark and just like edgy. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just such a
Yeah.
weird transition for her, and it's so
Right.
like such a dark turn too from someone that seems so bubbly. So I do know, like I said, as a fan, that there's been this huge change in her, and it almost, my wonder is, was it the fame and a combination of the fame and like fans who she seemed to have loved for so long give her so much hate
Mm-hmm.
that kind of made her feel like rejected maybe? And then also there's the side of it now with like her boyfriend who's incredibly like does not pass the vibe check, some would say.
You know, that part of becoming a celebrity, like, I just want to interject here for a minute because I think a lot of people that talk about these conspiracy theories where they talk about, like, why did somebody change? Are they involved in something? Or like their performances got darker. I've been watching a lot of different videos, and I think the entertainment industry is very clear, especially musicians. They're very clear on the whole conspiracy theory. They play into that just to have people engaged and more intrigued. But aside of the conspiracy theory, I don't think that people can understand a level of 1 minute you're just like anybody else. You can walk down the street, nobody bothers you. And then all of a sudden, you have skyrocketed to a point where you can't go outside on your own. And if you are going outside, there's always going to be somebody hiding in the bushes, taking pictures of you, trying to capture you at your worst looking moment, at your best looking moment. And I don't think that anybody can really understand the details of that. Maybe she just wasn't expecting the success and how much it heightened. And how do you react to that?
I totally agree with that. And I think that was kind of like the iceberg from what it looks like, from what you see on like, there's so many details that we don't know about. Like I said,
Hmm.
we're just like a fan. All we see is what she's shown us and like what we have
Right.
gotten from like publicists and news sources. You still don't normally see like people, like I almost wonder if she's trying to self-sabotage because she doesn't want this. She likes having money, but she doesn't like having the invasiveness, which I
Right.
totally would understand. I don't think anyone would really enjoy that, but like at the same time, you know what comes with the job. Could you imagine Michael Jackson being like, Excuse my French.
It would be the opposite of who he is and
Yeah. Or
how
even
he
Taylor
presented
Swift.
himself to the public. Right.
And this is like also what gets me is this girl has won a Grammy, okay? And
Hmm.
when she won a Grammy, she's like in tears, thank you, right? All of
Yeah,
that.
I
But
remember that. Hmm.
yeah, but hear me out. This is what gets me. She tweets,
Hmm.
and a part of me, I have like some other opinions on that. So actually, before I touch base on that, okay, so she tweets basically that her last two albums were a cash grab, that she didn't mean anything by them, it's shit music, and that we're all fools. And then she even said, like, on another occasion too, that like the new music that she's coming out with is different from anything else she's ever done.
Hmm.
Okay, I have literally been a fan of hers since like SoundCloud days. No joke. This new amazing music that she's coming out with, like Paint the Town Red and Attention, sounds just like her old shit. It's nothing it's good, but it's nothing mind blowing coming from Doja Cat. It's
Right.
literally the same music that she's always put out. So I don't
Hmm.
understand this, like, and obviously we haven't heard the full album yet, and you have
Hmm.
like hits that are like being released from an album and all of that stuff. Like, there's a whole thing behind it, but it's like mind boggling to me that you're like talking shit on your own music and talking shit on your fans. Yet you're putting out the same freaking music.
Right.
Yet it's supposed to be different.
Hmm.
But there's also been videos, not videos, but there you can find videos of it. There's like her going live, going off camera, and like,
Allegedly.
yeah,
Right.
allegedly.
That's the word we would use.
Yeah,
Allegedly, this is
allegedly.
what occurred.
I've seen the videos and it's alleged for sure.
Mm. And you allegedly saw the videos.
Yes, there we go. Actually, I know nothing. Let's just delete everything.
Right?
This
I'll
is
just
fake.
cut it off on editing. So, what led to the events now? Because I have a couple of news stories, and I know you said don't read them yet because you wanted to
Yeah,
do
because I
a reaction. What led to everything that's going on right now from the way you understand it?
mean, I just feel like she's in this weird. It's a world that we wouldn't understand unless we were in it. It's
Right.
like that's pretty apparent, but I also feel kind of bad for her in a
Hmm.
sense. Like, some things about her soul seems like she's hurting, and we both know this. Like, when you're doing shadow work, right before you do that work, you're kind of like still in dark mode, and then you work through all that shadow work, and you're all of a sudden like, oh, maybe I can wear white. Maybe
Right.
I do like tan. I still wear all black, but you know what I mean? Like, you're
Hmm.
all of a sudden your
Yes.
world kind of brightens up a little bit. Things that like you normally kind of shy away from, you're open to all of a sudden
Hmm.
because you've worked on yourself. And so I almost
Right.
feel like she's like, I guess what some would say in her villain era, but
Hmm.
it's very basic too.
Kind of reminds me of Madonna. Every time that she did something new, it would be like reinventing herself. There was a
Yeah.
word that they used at
Yeah.
that time. The thing is that Madonna was never a person that she says that she hated her fans, that she wasn't there for them. She was
Yeah.
always a person that acknowledged her fans.
Right. Right.
Always.
Right.
And in that regard, like I think about it, okay, yeah, you're stressed and you're overwhelmed and you're feeling emotions that you probably never felt before, but you can't disregard your fans. I know
Yeah.
that sounds like selfish, but it's kind of like throwing away your money.
That's kind of how I feel
You
too.
need those fans. It's kind of like, like a workplace. You have like these long time customers that have been around for years and years and years. And then somebody comes up with this bright idea of let's change things around and let's make it more difficult for our customers. And then the customers aren't happy anymore. And they're like,
Right.
well, what's going on? I don't think we want to stick around for this. We don't want to stick around to find out what's going to happen next. We're kind of like over it. And we're tired of giving our money away so that our services aren't done or
Right.
canceled
Right.
at the last minute.
Okay, when that happened, right, her response was pretty shitty. So she, every time she gets any sort of backlash, she has really shitty responses back. And I think
Mhm.
like 50% of it is like we're in the land of trolling. So you have to kind of decipher between like what is trolling and is she trolling. This kind of feels and has been feeling a little real. And I think, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that are just kind of, I like her as an artist. And there's moments where we do have to separate the art from the artist, right? There's old musicians that we definitely, that's a whole
Yeah.
world we can dive into.
Mhm.
Or we do
Mhm.
have to, when we listen to their music, like we just don't think about who they are as a person. Like I'm almost curious if she's trying to say as a female, like, because now that I'm thinking about it, what's interesting to me is that a lot of men have been able to really get that excuse to separate the art from the artist, right? But do we
Mhm.
really see that with women? And maybe she's purposely, maybe we're all, like being totally trolled big time, and she's trying to project this crazy doesn't care about her fans attitude,
Right.
so you can just take her as a musician more seriously. I don't know, that's like a lot of thought, right? But
But
like,
also, I think it's also a lot of risk. A lot of risk
yeah,
because it all goes back to these people, your fans, are your livelihood.
right,
Without
right,
them, you don't have anything. Like, what do you think? You're going to survive on merchandise, on selling merchandise? Like everybody sells merchandise.
right,
That's going to be from a business perspective, that's going to be a small portion of your sales. So you can't
yeah,
rely on that. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
You
yeah,
have to rely on your music. If you're a musician, that's what you're
right,
relying on working on your craft, creating original sounds if there is such thing anymore,
right. Well, and that's
creating
like,
music that's going to touch people. The music that she creates, this is her bread and butter. So if
right,
she has a resentment, where is the resentment coming from? Like
yeah,
what was the outburst that came to the part where she started losing her fans, that they just
right. Well, she
became
lost
totally disgusted?
every time. She loses a lot of fans.
But why is she losing them?
Well, because of her attitude, her shitty attitude. But I think it's kind of interesting with like social media in general. As a collective, we've kind of moved
Mhm.
into this space of like we get over things really quickly. And she's very aware of that. Look at the Kardashians. They have built a whole brand and marketed off of that. All of their marketing is based off of, oh, people will forget about it. And we'll just
Yep.
throw another distraction at them and another and another.
Mhm.
Literally, they found success off of that.
But then you have people like Swoop
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Sloan who will
Yeah.
remind you.
But what his video came out with Doja Cat, I really liked it. He really touches base on a lot of issues that I personally have with Doja Cat, more so out
Mhm.
of this whole shindig that she's kind of created. She's created it, by the way. That's what's so
Yeah.
shitty about it. It's like, by you decided to wake up one day and tweet on your cell phone or whatever device you decided to get on and just be a
Mhm.
freaking Karen to your fans. You woke up and decided Karen that day.
Which is
How
so not
dare
a
you
good
call
thing.
yourselves kittens? None of my fans do that. What?
Mhm.
Who are you?
I changed my mind. I'm
Or
going to be a little monster now.
call us just cat litter. How about that? Just call us the cat litter box where you just shit on us.
So let's look at some articles here. I'm going to share my screen really quick. Let's click on the Entertainment Weekly. Doja Cat embraces mass social media following I Feel Free. Seeing all of
Weird.
these people unfollow me makes me feel like I've defeated a large beast that has been holding me down for so long, the rapper wrote on Instagram. Doja Cat is unfazed by the haters. Fans of the Say So singer, known as Kittens, are abandoning the fandom, and she couldn't care less. The rapper has lost over 500,000 followers in the last month. She's currently at 25.1 million followers. Are you kidding me?
Might as well
What?
just turn in that Gucci purse now. Throw it all away.
I don't know, but you're right. Something is definitely going on with her. The singer tersely dismissed fans' concerns about her love life on social media. I don't give a F what you think about my personal life. Doja wrote on an Instagram comment, I never have and never will give a F what you think about me on my personal life. Goodbye and good riddance, miserable hoes. Ha ha. Wow. So this is from Entertainment Tonight. I will be posting the link. You can go ahead and read this article. Do you still want to follow her after that?
That's hard, man, because I do like her music, but
But you're a
again, like
hoe.
it does ring in the back of my head a little when I listen to it now. It's a little hard to move away from. And it sucks. It sucks that this is what I was meaning, like, by throw it all away. Yes, you've worked hard to get to where you're at, but do not, and like, again, we don't understand all the behind, right? But from a fan's perspective, if your song on TikTok wouldn't have blown up, that struggle to get where you were without the internet would have been so much harder and mentally
Mm-hmm.
straining. And I'm not saying either like, oh, you should have, don't go to these like huge fashion shows and make these
Right.
statements and try to be the iconic celebrity. Then at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you're saying F you to any of
To
your
your
fans.
fans.
That doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense. Throw it all away then. Go in a fucking hole, turn off your computer.
Let's look at this Billboard.com article. It says Doja Cat says losing followers allows her to reconnect with the people who really matter. Quote, seeing all of these people unfollowing makes me feel like I've defeated a large beast that's been holding me down for so long. Close quote. The 27-year-old Need to Know singer wrote in a message posted on her Instagram stories Wednesday, August 16th. Quote, it feels like I can reconnect with the people who really matter and love me for who I am and not for who I was. Close quote. So
Interesting.
yeah, I would have to agree that there's something underlying going on, at least in my own personal opinion. I think that there's something underlying going on. Why would she say that it's allowing her to connect with the people who really care about her? Well,
What's weird is that she's like testing her loyalty of her
mhm.
fans. How loyal are
Yeah.
you to me?
Mhm.
I could be so abusive to you, but how loyal are you? Because only the
Right.
real one. And here's the thing where it that excuse of like, well, you got to separate the art from the artist doesn't fly. Is that like in today's world, if you're choosing to do that, that's a little different, right? Because we live in
Mhm.
the world with like cancel culture. It's just interesting that like I get it if that's like what she's
Mhm.
trying to do, but also like, what?
Definitely do more on this. I want to say that we're cutting this off short because my Wi-Fi is acting up. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I got kicked off and then we had to come back. But anyway, we're going to talk more about Doja Cat when we get more information. And we are going to be talking about Black China because there's a lot of things going on there that we want to go into that unfiltered rabbit hole. Thanks everybody for watching. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.